Schrodinger's cat. Let's talk about it. Hi everybody, this is Sammy from Not Your Average Globe, a safe place where we come, we talk all things mental health, spirituality, and quite a bit of tarot. But today, weirdly, we're going to talk about quantum physics. You might be thinking, what? Your girl's a little bit of a nerd, but I want to talk to you guys today about Schrodinger's cat. And don't worry, this is going to be a tarot pick-a-pile, but it's going to be less of a pick-a-card and more of a collective read. It's technically a pick-a-pile because there will be 3 different piles to choose from, but the 3 piles are going to be 3 different topics. So this might resonate more of a collective read, so take what resonates, leave the rest. But you might be asking yourself, Samantha, what the fuck is Schrodinger's cat? I've got a visual representation for you. So Schrodinger's cat is one of the strangest theories in quantum physics. So I've got a visual representation for you to help explain in layman's term what this experiment was. So basically, there was this dude, Schrodinger, who came up with an experiment in which he had a living cat. This obviously is a plushie cat, but we're going to pretend this is an alive cat. His name is Mr. Fluffy, where Mr. Fluffy gets put inside of a box that has this mechanism where there is an atomic atom that has a 50% chance of decaying. This is obviously a quartz crystal. I don't have an atomic atom, and an atomic atom would be teeny tiny, itty bitty, okay? But the atomic atom has a 50% chance of decaying. If the atomic atom decays, it then triggers a mechanism where a lever or a hammer or something smashes a vial of poison. This is obviously actually juniper berries, but for today's visual representation, this is a vial of poison. So basically, Mr. Fluffy goes inside the box where there is a vial of poison, a mechanism that has a 50% chance of going off, breaking the vial open, and killing Mr. Fluffy. Okay? The theory suggests that because this experiment is not only dangerous for Mr. Fluffy, it's also dangerous for the scientists because they don't know whether or not the vial has gone off, whether or not the mechanism has gone off, whether or not the vial has been broken open, whether it's neutralized, whether it's freshly open. Opening the box would not only put Mr. Fluffy potentially in danger, but the scientists themselves in danger. So the thought is that until the box is open, until they can see it themselves, Mr. Fluffy is both alive and dead. And basically what this is supposed to be illustrating is the infinite amount of possibilities within quantum mechanics. Now, your girl is not good at science or math. In fact, those were my worst subjects in school. But as a psych major, as somebody who really enjoys theology, which is all the books behind me, I really, really enjoyed learning about this experiment. But before you're like, oh my God, they're just out here killing cats, unlike the likes of Huber, who is quite literally just torturing cats for the sake of science. Schrodinger's experiment was entirely a thought experiment, which means they didn't literally put a cat in a box with a vial of poison or anything like that. It's just a what if experiment. It's meant to make you think, okay? So no cats were harmed in the making of said experiment, okay? So why then would I choose Schrodinger's cat as a topic for a tarot video? You might be wondering. Well, because contrary to popular beliefs, your girl is very witchy, and I like learning about different pseudosciences such as psychology and astrology and things of that nature, right? But I don't literally believe that tarot cards predict the future, which might surprise you. A lot of people think that because I'm witchy, because I'm woo-woo, that means I'm less of an intellect. That's not the case at all. Your girl's on the autism spectrum. Your girl's intellectual AF. What then do I believe that tarot cards do? The best way that I could explain it was giving you the representation of Schrodinger's cat. I believe that tarot cards, quite literally, are just pieces of cardboard. There's no magic here. These are not sentient beings. They cannot read your future, so to speak. But I and you have pattern recognition, right? And I can use these cards to subtly pick up on patterns within your life. And based upon the energy that you are currently putting into a given situation, I can read a potential outcome out of an infinite possibility of said outcomes. So, today's video is going to be me looking into career, me looking into your love life, and me looking into your spiritual, mental, emotional development, and picking up on potential outcomes based upon the energy you're currently putting out. But like Schrodinger's cat, your outcomes are both alive and dead. That the two truths can be true at one singular time. So I'm going to be looking at in pile number 1, what is alive and what is dead within your love life. Basically means the outcome that you are currently going to get, what's alive based upon your current energy, and then another outcome that might be closed off to right now because your energy is off, right? In love. And then pile number 2, it's going to be the same thing with career. Pile number 3 is going to be your spiritual, mental, emotional development. Okay? So without further ado, let's jump on into it. I really hope you guys like this idea because this idea is so fun for me. Oh, and if you're sitting here wondering the whole time trying to rack your brain, Schrodinger's cat, Schrodinger's cat, Schrodinger's cat, where the fuck have I heard that? Big Bang Theory, one of my favorite shows. You're welcome. All right. It's a really funny scene where I believe it was either Leonard or Sheldon who explained Schrodinger's cat first. And then another person came along and then they re-explained it to her. I think it was Sheldon explained it to her first, then Leonard came around and brought it up again. And then, funnily enough, Penny eventually caught on to the concept and then she brought it up on a date with another guy. So, yeah. Anyhow. I'm going to clear the energy and we're going to hop into pile number 2, which is going to be love. Pile number 1, not pile number 2. Oh my goodness, ground your energy, Sam. Let's do that one more time. Pile number 1, if you chose the concept of love, then this is going to be your reading on what is both alive and dead within your love life. All right, first things first, I'm going to pull some identifiers so that you know you chose the right pile. This is going to be a little bit noisy, I apologize. Spirit, help me to get some identifiers for my pile number 1, my love people. All right, polyamorous, dark humor, vintage. You already know them. Therapist, big hands and feet, artist, diamond face, hazel eyes, has children, entrepreneur, square face, a hugger, follower, plump lips, outgoing, food service, performer, classy style, long legs, light brown hair, human resources, restless, great cook, athletic style, shy, guarded. So this person might be an introvert, or you might be an introvert. In the box thinker, so they might be more of an intellect, which means that, or you might be more of an intellect, which is why you were drawn to said video. High sex drive, atheist, welcome. had plastic surgery, hubby wifey vibes, junk food, and I'm gonna get just a few more. Great kisser, tiny titty committee, medical field, thick brows, one last one, and procrastinator. Okay, and then I'm gonna get some numbers. Now, if you're wondering if I use these dice for D&D purposes, I do. I play Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, so 2, 0, 0, 6, 5, 16, 5, 8, 5. A lot of 5 here. So somebody's birthday might be the same as mine, Cinco de Mayo, 5-5. Or somebody might be 55 years old. There's a lot of 5s here. 28, 26, 16, so on and so forth. Okay. Now I'm going to get some astrology cards, and then we'll jump into said reading. All right. All right. Spirit, help me to tap in to pile number 1, collective spirit. What astrological signs are they? So immediately I'm seeing Sagittarius and Leo. So hi, welcome fire signs. Capricorn. Gemini. Capricorn again. Neptune. Aries, so all 3 fire signs came out, and the sun card. Virgo, Aquarius, this is definitely my intellect pile, because all of my big brain energy people have now come out. All my Mercurius energy people came out. Yeah, split the deck, and Mercury. Pluto, Libra, Venus, Jupiter, and Scorpio. All right. Now, let's jump into the reading itself. Okay, so quick recap. Basically, the intention of this reading is we're going to be specifically looking at the topic of love and what is alive and what is dead within your love life. Basically, there's going to be 2 paths based upon your current energy that you can go down. So, all right, Spirit, help me to tap into their love life. Nope, too many. We're not doing that. These cards are extremely slippery, so I apologize. Okay. Right. So that's behind. Okay. Can you get a few more for that path? Just a couple more. Perfect. Okay. Interesting. I do find it funny that the Emperor card came out and I got a lot of fire sign energy, but before I start reading, let me now get the second path. Spirit, what's the second path? Okay, so this is definitely the alive path. This is definitely the dead path. Okay, So in the alive path, you have the Emperor card in the transitional energy. This is the way I read. This is not the way all tarot card readers. I read upright cards when it is a person card. I read upright as their healthy energy, reverse as in their shadow egoic energy, and transitional sideways energy as in they were in their shadow but they're slowly moving into their more empowered self. So it's like higher self, lower self, transitional energy. This is in transitional energy. So the Emperor card is the combination of all four kings. This is somebody who has elevated themselves and learned all there is to learn or close to it in all four suits. In cups, which is emotions, in swords, which is the intellect, the brain, in pentacles, which is earthly matters like home, finances, and wands, which is passions, creative endeavors, right? So I feel like in the past, and this can be masculine or feminine energy, okay? I feel like in the past, you might have weaponized said energies. You might have, an Emperor when they're in reverse can be a little bit of a manipulator, a little bit of a control freak, even a little bit abusive at times. And maybe not intentionally abusive, but it's very controlling, very domineering, very, very masculine in a warped way sort of energy, right? So I feel like you might resonate with, in the recent future, possibly being in unhealthy masculine energy, even if you resonate as being a woman. But you're slowly learning what balanced masculine energy looks like, okay? And because you are learning what that looks like, you're tapping into your feminine energy, your divine feminine energy, which is your high priestess energy. This came out upright, which means that your intuition is growing. You're quite strong. Into your intuition. You might resonate as psychic or a little bit witchy. You have really learned that it does not make you weak necessarily to follow your intuition. Feel like I've got it now. I feel like in the past, when it pertained to love, you tried to micromanage your love life by thinking of like a list of all the things you needed to do. 1 + 1 = 2. Well, if you're a man, I need a wife, I need kids, I need the dream. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go to work. I'm going to make plenty of money. I'm going to work out. I'm going to be very attractive. I'm going to be very accomplished. That'll attract a wife. She's got to look like this. Say, for example, you come from a background like you're Jewish or something, and your parents want you to have a Jewish wife, right? It's like a checklist of things that you need to micromanage to make it all work out and for you to have this happily ever after. Well, surprise, surprise, that does not bring you happiness. Okay. So you've learned recently that you need to be more intuitive when it comes to your approach in love, right? And when you do that, it allows you to follow your passions, keep your eyes on your goals, and enjoy every moment. You are learning a more broader approach to love, like where you, instead of just what specific person do I want to manifest, what specific house do I want to manifest, what number in the bank, it's more of a broad idea of, does this bring me joy? Am I following my happiness? Does this, do I feel that intuitive nudge to move in this direction? And it's less about the specifics and more about a general idea of, I want a partner that is my best friend and my lover. I want a partner whom I can explore the world with, where I could do these things with, right? And because of that, you are moving forward in a way that is heart-led, right? You're being led now through your passions and your heart, right? which is leading you. Now don't be too scared, which is potentially leading you to the devil energy. The devil energy isn't always bad in a love reading. I know it can be, but this can also be like sexual energy. This can also be like karmic ties, karmic debt that you have to repay, obsession, shadow self, repression, powerlessness. But I'm really getting the more positive attributes of the devil card, which is like passion, and I'm getting karmic debt. I feel like you're being led now intuitively to pay off some sort of karmic debt. Okay? One in which you and your past control freakish self have to ask for help, right? Oof, I want to get some more on this. Okay, so what would the outcome, if they were to ask for help, what would the outcome of said path be? This is a path of coming together and working with other people and not necessarily being the leader, which I think is difficult for you if you're showing up in this high priestess emperor energy. That does not come naturally to you. Yeah, healing, the star, all your dreams coming true. This approach through humility and this approach through being led through your intuition will lead you to healing and all your dreams coming true. Ironically, I think like in the past you were trying to micromanage and make all this happen, like forcing it to fit, as to where if you allow your intuition to guide you and listening to your heart space and your sacral chakra, then you are going to, it's very much so giving like Kundalini awakening, which is a catchphrase a lot of people in the spiritual community use. The sun, literally the sun, bottom of the deck energy. Yeah, with the moon, yes, following your intuition, Pentacles, first new start. This is the path. This is the alive path. If you want all your dreams come true, you need to follow your intuition, okay? You need to be led through this more intuitive heart space place. Okay, now that being said, let's get a potential time card for if you went down this path, okay? December, that's very, 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 very soon. And I'm hearing wake me up when December ends. July, stop waiting. And then it says way off in the future. Yeah, you've been putting this off. And Spirit's saying you have a choice. Like it's literally, I feel like you already intuitively know what you're meant to do, who you're meant to reach out to collaborate with, to ask for help. Spirit's saying this can be as soon as December, that you guys could come together, that you could have your happily ever after. But in order to do that, you need to make decisions today to follow where you're being intuitively guided to. Yeah. Spring. So it's like you could connect with one another in December, and by spring it could be flourishing into something new faster than you think. All right, so that's path A. Now let's look at the dead path. And I call it the dead path because this is the path that essentially leads to your demise, so to speak. Okay, so first card that comes out is the Six of Swords, but it came out in the transitional energy, okay? The Six of Swords It's about responsibility, harmony, aligning, healing, like moving forward, like taking the lessons that you've learned from the past and moving forward. This is coming out in the transitional energy, which to me reads as hesitancy. And Spirit's saying if you continue to hesitate on taking these lessons and moving forward, if you continue to, it says, move from problems and be mindful what you take. If you continue to remain stuck, stagnant, and not move forward, not take these lessons with you, okay? You got the Page of Swords, right? Which is the very beginning of the sword suit. This says take your time to think before you act. I feel like you've been overdoing that. I feel like you are hesitating. You're like, well, I've got to think this through. I've got to, I need to devise a plan. I've got to, have this perfect thing to say and this perfect plan, and I got to do. And Spirit's saying, no, you need to feel. Because then you've got the King of Cups and the transitional energy. Once again, you're blocking your own healing. You're blocking your emotions and being too much in your brain, okay? You got the Fool, once again, in the transitional energy. It's like, instead of taking that leap of faith, you are remaining stuck, stagnant, and Spirit's saying, hey, when you do this, you're blocking your divine judgment, which means failure to face the facts, delay, disappointment, blame, doubt. It's like when you are, by delaying this decision, by being so much in your head that you're not following your intuition, you are delaying basically the judgment card speaks to me about like almost like a divine gift. It's like God calling final judgment on a situation, right? It is upright. It's answering the call to action, creates new opportunity, awakening, purpose, reckoning, self-assessment, atonement, rejuvenation. By resisting that, you basically are blocking the blessings that Spirit is wanting to give you. Okay, so yeah, the World card, but it's in reverse. The Hanged Man in reverse. Spirit's saying step out into the world, make a decision. You can't keep hesitating. Life is passing you by. Look, now it's upright. Life is passing you by while you're sitting around trying to micromanage things. Step into your divine Emperor energy and step out into the world. Make this, the world is your oyster when you empower yourself through making a decision. Those are the two paths that you have in love right now. That's what Spirit's saying is follow your intuition. That leads to life. Fluffy is out of the box. He's safe. He's happy. Staying in this, I need to think it through. I need to devise a plan. I need to be perfect. I need to micromanage. I need to do all these things. It says literally at the bottom of this card, it says, be careful of seeing things that are not there, illusions. You're stuck in illusion. You're creating problems where there are none. It's like you yourself are trying to break open the vial of poison and then be like, oh, see, I told you the cat was going to be dead. It's like you're trying to be the lever. And while you're sitting around waiting for a decision, that atom is decaying, right? And that atom will break down. Ooh, good metaphor, Spirit. Thank you. Spirit is saying, like, as you're sitting around waiting for this outcome, the atom is decaying, and eventually that leather is going to go off and it's going to kill Fluffy. And Fluffy represents your dreams, what you want in your love life, what you want out of love. It's like Spirit's saying you can have everything you want when you quit trying to micromanage it and just feel into where you're being led. Spirit's like, you've had the guidance for forever. You know the direction you're supposed to go in. And that direction involves you asking for help in some way, which I don't think you like to do. Queen of Wands. Maybe asking help from a witchy, intuitive, more spiritual person. Believe in yourself and have the courage to continue. Feel like you've been battered and bruised for a little bit. And Spirit's saying you're staying on the path that leads to more batter and more bruise and more fight, instead of asking for help. I'm hearing go, go, Power Rangers. What? Oh, I guess the Power Rangers, they worked in a group, right? It's been years since I've seen the Power Rangers. All that I remember is I really liked the blue Power Ranger. That was my favorite, and that's all I remember about that. Yeah, the Emperor card keeps coming out. Seek balance and create calm in atmosphere. Yeah, okay, so that's your reading. Pile number 1, the love pile. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that it helped illuminate to you the alive path and the dead path. Hope you have a magical, wonderful, beautiful day. Bye. Pile number 2, if you chose to hear about career and finances and how that relates to Schrodinger's cat, then this is going to be your reading on what's alive and what's dead within your career and finances. All right, so first things first, we're gonna get some identifiers. This is gonna be a little bit noisy, so I do apologize. All right, my pile number 2. Please, Spirit, help me to get some identifiers. Who is watching my pile number 2? Online connection, socialite, big family, old money, commitment issues, homemaker, homebody, deep thinker, small town, healthy lifestyle, music industry, soulmate, spiritual leader, casual style, extroverted, mental health struggles, big hands and feet, makes you a better person. I feel like for a lot of you, you watch pile number 1 and now you're just kind of watching all of them, and that's perfectly fine. This is a general read, so you're more than welcome to watch all of them. Large group of friends, actor, famous, prominent nose, fashion, influencer, cheater, great in bed, terrible speller, relatable, loyal, well-educated, animal lover, and finally exotic pet. All right, let's get some numbers. 6, 12, 80, 1, 12, 4, 7, 5. I'm hearing 12, 12 might be significant for somebody. Maybe it's a number you're seeing a lot, or maybe December may be significant for you. Okay, now let's get some astrological cards. Spirit, help me to get some astrological signs for my pile number 2 collective. I've already seen Virgo and Scorpio, Aries, Venus, Taurus, hey boo hey, Virgo, Pisces, Aries, Aquarius, Leo, Gemini, Libra. All right. All right, so let's see what path is alive and what path is dead in regards to your career. Spirit, can you please tell me about pile number 2's career, Spirit? Pile number 2's career, their finances. Where are they headed? Interesting. Can you give me a little more clarification on why the alchemy cards and why temperance is in reverse? Why is temperance in reverse? Jesus. Okay. Okay, now, second path, Spirit. What's the second path? In their career and finances. Second path, Spirit. All right, so you have two paths before you. The first one is a path in which, and now both of these will resonate because both of these are true. That's the whole point of this video, okay? So, path number one is coming out of a state of heartbreak. You are growing. You are regrouping, you're finding your community, you are, in the recent past, you probably were heartbroken, you may have lost a job, because we're specifically talking about finances, but this could have to do with love or some other area of your life. But I'm seeing some sort of heartbreak or disappointment in the recent past. And you're learning to grow out of that and learn from it. But you still haven't quite found your happiness or your success. I feel like you're very much so like, I'm trying to strive for my happiness. I'm trying to chase my happiness. I'm trying to move forward in life. But this is not coming natural to you because I feel like you've been shaken up. I feel like this is conflict of interest, impatience, instability. Feeling like your finances have been feeling a little bit unstable, and that's making you feel a little bit stagnant and making you feel a little bit disempowered. And because of this, you are trying to finding control, willpower, investigation, responsibility. You're trying to take more responsible actions within your career and within your finances. Maybe in the past you were focusing a little bit more on love, and that got you a little bit out of balance because your love life wasn't aligned, or your relationship was not aligned with your purpose. Therefore, it kind of threw off. Maybe you invested in the wrong energy. For example, maybe you spent a lot of money on dates and traveling and all that stuff on a person that you weren't quite meant to be with, and they kind of gobbled up all of your financial success. Maybe you went through a messy divorce and they got half your finances or something of that nature, right? I'm seeing here something tied into heartbreak, and that leading you to not being in the happiest of places, but you're now trying to learn to rebalance and to take responsibility. And that taking responsibility, that slow build, that healing your heart is leading to King of Pentacles, which is the mastery of your finances. It says continue to solve issues in a practical way, realistic, solid, good character, intelligent, steady, reliable, providing. All right, I'm gonna get a little bit more on this because I feel like that was very vague. Spirit, can you help me to get a little more specific? They're like, yep. The Empress. I feel like for some of you, if you're a masculine energy, right? You might have had a baby with a woman whom you thought was your happily ever after. You thought she was going to be your wife, the mother of your kids, and she might have just trapped you with a baby to take your money, is kind of what I'm getting, because I got the Empress out here and the not healthy aspect, right? Or you are a divine feminine and you met I'm getting that that's the energy. I'm trying to make it fit the other way around, but I'm getting for the majority of you, it is that there was somebody who trapped you with the baby. Now this could be reverse, that you could be a woman who is trapped by a man, and now you're financially tied to somebody, and I'm getting that it's through a child, and that has kind of thrown you out of balance. And Spirit's saying that this path is taking responsibility for your actions, paying child support, all those things, right? And that eventually, through time and effort and responsibility, focusing on your career, rebuilding, going to therapy, healing, you will regain some, justice here. Ooh. Yeah. Okay. So you might be an Aries, because Aries has come out a million times even on this card. It's got the Aries symbol right here. I feel like through time, maybe you'll gain full custody of this child, or things will balance out, the divorce will be finalized, something of that. There's something here about legalities that I'm not quite grasping, because I feel like it's going to pertain differently to different people, but I'm getting like a custody battle. There's something involving a child and it tying your finances up. I feel like that's slowly resolving though, and that you're building yourself back up, like you're financially recovering from that, but it's a slow, gradual process. And Spirit's saying that that slow, gradual process is what's needed, but there might be some fear around that. There might also be a little bit of a greed here, holding too tight and stop you from moving forward. Ooh. Are you not wanting to pay child support? If so, that's some dusty, crusty ass energy. I'm sorry. If you can lay down and make a baby, you can afford to take care of that baby. I'm sorry if you feel like it's unfair, you feel like they trapped you, they whatever. If you can lay down and make the baby, you can afford to take care of the baby. And if you are with a new partner and they're like, oh, well, she just wants to use you for your money, talking about your ex or something, like blah, 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 then you're with a bitch. Because I personally would not be with a man who has a child from a previous relationship if he's not providing for that child. Like, that's red flag behavior. Because if you're not going to provide for your child with of your ex, then what makes me want to have a child with you? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't like, if that's your energy, I don't like you. So pay child support, take care of your responsibilities. Also, it might not be that you're not wanting to pay child support. For some of you, you're holding too tightly to hurt, or you're holding on to this relationship because you're scared that it's going to cost you a lot of money. That might be it. That's probably what this is, actually. You're holding on to a relationship because there's a child involved, or, you know, or like you're like, this is going to cost me a lot of money in a divorce. Maybe, like, I don't know, maybe you weren't very smart and you didn't get a prenup or something. I don't know. But you're wanting to leave this. Fuck, this is a lot to do with love, surprisingly. But I feel like your love life and your financial life are somehow tied together. The Tower, yeah, it's gotta all come crumbling down. But you already know this. Yep. I feel like when you leave this, when you allow the Tower to crumble, when you give into the fates, right? When you quit being selfish and you quit holding tightly you quit trying to micromanage, you will eventually regain the Ten of Pentacles. It might take time though, okay? So that's the first outcome. Now, okay, I feel like you're stuck in illusions. This is the second path. If you remain stuck in these illusions and you remain to let your passions determine where you are, and I feel like there's this Queen of Wands energy that is wanting to micromanage and keep you stuck. So for some of you, you might think that you could potentially make it work with this person. And it's probably because this person's got you digmatized. Like, they're showing up as a Queen of Wands, which means that they're very sensual, they're very sexy, they're very, it's giving them succubus-like energy, right? And you might think that, okay, well, if I just focus on my goals, I can make it work with this person, but this is an illusion. And it's going to end up with dissatisfaction, right? The only thing that you're truly going to get from this is boner alert, is sex, right? Yeah, and eventually, it's just following your wand. I feel like somebody's sticking with a person because the sex is good instead of and there's a lot of fighting, a lot of discontentment. Yeah. Break up with this person and rebuild. That's the message. When you do that, you'll get your financial success. If you stay with this person and try to make it work, you're going to be discontent and your finances are going to be unpleasant. They're going to keep eating your finances up, and you're going to be broke mentally, emotionally, and physically. Yeah, because you're trying to juggle energy that you're not meant to juggle. The Lovers in reverse. There's no real love here. Yeah. And that's what I'm going to say about that. So to recap, you have two paths. The path is to stay with this person or leave them, and staying with them means that you're financially and mentally, emotionally broke. Leaving them, you are going to have to rebuild, and it might be a slow build, but you will regain the full Ten of Pentacles if you leave them. That is the message for pile number 2. Thank you. All right, finally, pile number 3. If you chose to hear about your spiritual development and the two paths you can go down, then this is going to be a reading on Schrodinger's cat, what's alive and what's dead. So, let's first get into identifiers. I feel like the majority of people are watching all 3 piles, and that is perfectly fine. Honestly, that was kind of my intention for this video. All right, big hands and feet, great in bed, influencer, actor, divorce. I was literally talking about that. Famous, music industry makes you a better person. Artist, authentic as fuck, messy hair, creative, diamond face, button nose, influencer, psychic, rebellious, tattoos, online connection, homemaker, old money, casual style, and fashion. Got 80, 3, 1, 4, 4, 1, 6. So 1, 1, 4, 4 might be significant for you in some way. New Year's might be significant for you. All right, and let's go to this one. All right, let's get some astrological signs for you. Why are these all wonky? Hold on a second. So Taurus might be a sign for you because that card was in reverse. Aquarius, Leo. Leo again. Leo again, and Virgo. Virgo again. They said that's it. Okay. All right, now we're gonna jump into the 2 spiritual paths. Why am I immediately hearing that they're tied into love? What is happening, y'all? I didn't intend for this to be a love reading, but that's the direction this is wanting to go in for some reason. All right, 2 paths. What are they? I'm hearing, listen to your heart when she's calling for you. Listen to your heart. Nothing else you can do. I don't know where you're going, and I don't know why. Listen to your heart before you tell him goodbye. All right, you got the Star, all your dreams coming true. You've got the Knight of Cups. You've got the 5 of Wands in reverse. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Interesting. Okay. We got a perfect pair right there. I knew this was tied to love. All right. And the path number 2. Slow and methodical. Let's go. And there we have it. Damn. Okay. Wow. All right. So this is basically a path that I could easily explain this if you believe in the concept of twin flames. Now, some of you don't believe in twin flames, and that is perfectly okay. I'm not even 100% sure if I necessarily, oh my God, this is driving me crazy, if I necessarily believe in the concept of twin flames anymore. But just replace that word with soulmate. It's not that serious, okay? But basically what this means, as far as this goes, is your divine path is deeply tied into your love life, right? And I'm seeing a path here on the left that is full of contentment, happiness, healing, building up a financial success, watching the fruits of your labor and your goals in life grow, and you've got a emperor and an empress. That's a perfect match here. But that comes from a place of leaving behind defensiveness and discontentment, following your heart, and doing some healing, right? I feel like this is all, go watch all the other piles. I'm feeling led to tell you guys that you're just meant to watch this whole video, okay? If you choose to leave behind the situations that are not leading you down the path of fulfillment, of contentment, of happiness, peace, satisfaction in your life. If you choose to leave that behind, this defensiveness, this fighting, but it's like a never-ending fight, right? That doesn't lead to anything good, then you will have your happily ever after with another person, right? There's another person, a divine love, a divine union. And then literally this card just flipped around, like my hand barely even touched it, and it went from this to this. Then that leads to contentment, fulfillment, happiness, success, right? Mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually. It's like it's all tied together. And I feel like that's something that people don't grasp, is that your spiritual health is tied into your mental, emotional health, right? Now, let's look at this other path where we are so focused on micromanaging and trying to build in the 3D world that we are literally blocking our own blessings and what Spirit is trying to offer us, because we're too much in our head, and we're trying to micromanage, and we're trying to overthink, right? Because we're trying to do it the traditional way, right? Instead of following your intuition, we're stuck in tradition, right? Focusing on what's going wrong, blocking our blessings, because we're trying to continuously charge into this path of tradition. Spirit is wanting to lead you out of this traditional way of thinking, this logical way of this is the path, this is how I gotta do it, and trying to lead you into this more intuitive path. This path, this traditionality, this trying to think with your head, is leading you to brokenness in your career, in your love life, and in your spiritual fulfillment. It's like the energy of God is the energy of love, right? So then why would you think that God can't give you a divine love? That does not make sense, y'all. You can have it all. And Spirit, God, the universe wants you to be abundant in every aspect of life. But in order to do that, you've got to listen with your heart instead of with your head. And I feel like somebody has been listening with their head for far too long. Spirit saying, listen with your heart. Follow your intuition, that small, still, quiet voice. And you will have success. Your cat will be alive when you open that box. But I feel like you're hesitating too much. And I feel like the hesitation is giving the atom time to decay. And if the atom decays, it triggers the mechanism, which breaks the vial, which kills the cat. You want Fluffy alive when you open that box. That's the message. Hope you have a magical, wonderful, beautiful day. And I love you guys very much. Bye.